Hey guys, welcome back to my channel, or if you're new, welcome to my channel. My name's Alexa, if you couldn't tell by those first few clips, and today's video we will be book shopping in New York. Now you might be saying to yourself, Alexa, you're not in New York. You are right, I am back in my home a week later from coming back to New York, and I miss it, and that's why I haven't filmed it yet, this little clip, because I am extremely missing New York. I love New York and I want to cry. But yeah, in this video I visited 4 different bookstores in New York. I love New York book shopping. And okay, I'm gonna preface this by saying, going into this video, I was telling myself, okay, I'm gonna literally not buy more than 3 or 4 books, and I'm gonna spend somewhere between, let's say, like $70 to $125 Canadian max. Now keep that in mind by the end of the video to see if I kept true to that, which, yeah, you'll see. So yeah, let's get into the actual book shopping.
I talk about you to everybody that I know, now they all love you, 'cause you are the one who lit a fire. The way I walk, the way I talk, you lift me higher. How did you flip my entire life? Everything's now upside down. I was alone in this town, thought that I had it all planned, but I finally understand. Surrender, falling on my knees, you pick me up so tender. I surrender, the great pretender. Before
So yeah, the first bookstore, as you can see, that I visited was the Strand. I think it's the largest independent bookstore in the world, or in the US. I could be 100% wrong, and don't correct me because I don't want to be wrong. I want to think that I'm right. So yeah, it's a used and new bookstore. I bought 2 used books. It was so hard for me to pick books. One thing you will learn as I'm speaking in this video is that I can't pick when it comes to books. I can't choose. If I tell myself I'm only picking 1 book, I'm gonna have a mental breakdown trying to pick which one is gonna be the book that I buy at that store. But I ended up buying 2, as I have said that I told myself I would only buy 1 book. But it was the price of 1 book because they were both used books, and I was so excited about these. So the first one that I got is The Enemy by Sarah Adams. This is the author of The Cheat Sheet and the When in Rome series. Well, the series with When in Rome and the other book that I can't remember, but I've loved her books when I read them. So I saw this used, and this one was $8. No, this one was $13.50. Yeah, this one is a new-ish release. The book itself is not a new release. I think it came out 2 or 3 years ago, but this edition is revised. This version of it came out in July of this year, which I was like, a used version of a book that came out in July or June? That's crazy. So yeah, I paid $13.50 for this book, which was insane to me. I can't wait to read it. It's a second chance, kind of-ish, enemies to lovers romance. So it's about this girl, June, who hasn't seen her high school enemy and secret crush in years, but he comes back to town. She's now a baker, and he's gonna become the youngest sous chef. He's the youngest sous chef to ever win 3 Michelin stars. So she tries to plot revenge against him, and then it kind of starts a revenge war, I think. Oh my god, I can't wait to read this. And the 1-sentence description is, from the New York Times bestselling author of Practice Makes Perfect comes an expanded edition of The Enemy, a laugh-out-loud romance about rekindling old flames with a never-seen-before chapter. I saw this in the store and I had to grab it immediately, and I can't wait to buy it, honestly, to read it. Can't wait to read it. And even though it's a used book, honestly, there's no damage. It feels as if it's almost perfect condition. I could pick up a book at the bookstore and it's in this condition, so I thought that was a great price for that. And then the second book that I got is the only book in this entire trip that I bought that I've already read. Oh yeah, by the way, don't mind my voice. I have allergies, and they're sometimes most intense in October, September, so that's fun. But yeah, this book is a book that I read back in January, and I've loved that series. I think I've read 1 or 2 other books in that series, and that book is The Deal by Elle Kennedy. I loved when I read it back in January, and this is actually the new Bloom edition. because they got re-released. This edition was published in November of 2023, and this was a used copy, which is crazy. Like a year later, I found it used. This I paid $8.50 for it, which felt like US. All the price in this is US because I bought them in the US. But here, I would have paid like probably $26, $27 for it, which is really crazy. So when I saw the price for this, I was like, I need to grab it immediately because I loved it and I need to own it on my shelves. And it is like really not expensive for that. Like because $8.50 US is probably somewhere around $11 Canadian. So I probably saved like 17, 16 bucks. So, I mean, I love saving money. So yeah, I was about to say I'm really excited to read this one. No, because I've already read it. But now, on to the next bookstore.
RSM.
The self-published section is insane.
Okay, so these are the two books that I chose. This one has a very like fall vibe, and so does this one. So I'm really excited.
All right, so the next bookstore that I went to, as you can see, of course, is the biggest Barnes & Noble. So floor space wise, I think Rachel Catherine said it, that is the biggest bookstore in the world, like floor space wise. But when it comes to like the actual books itself, it's not the biggest bookstore in the world. So that bookstore I've been wanting to go to for years, and I was so happy to go there. They had the biggest romance section for like a bookstore that is just a general bookstore. And they had an event that night that I didn't go to just because it didn't really fit with my schedule. And then I would have had to go alone, and then we already had plans that night, so I didn't go. But there was an event with Chloe Gong there for her newest release in the Immortal Longing series, which I need to read because I loved the first one. So that just felt cool that she was there that evening. And I know that a lot of people have events there, like Alex Astor, the girl who wrote Lightlark, or who else? Maybe Lauren Roberts, who wrote Powerless. She had an event there in July when she released Reckless. So it felt iconic to be there. A bunch of people, like a bunch of booktubers I've followed have been there. So it just really felt like an iconic thing to go to. And I had the hardest time picking a book. I might have spent 30 minutes in that romance section, and I was gonna buy another book at first, at first I was gonna buy Call It What You Want, but then I was like, I read like it sounded really good, but I was like, oh, maybe not, that one I'm gonna think about it for a while. So yeah, basically then I picked this book, which is You Again by Kate Goldbeck. People have said that it has kind of like a You've Got Mail vibe, I think. I don't know, I had almost bought it actually at the Strand, but they had a hardcover version, like the book of the month hardback version, but it was it was used, but it was also like hardcover, so like maybe not. I'd rather a paperback. And I've been looking for books with a fall vibe, so I felt like this one was perfect. I'm really excited to read it. I'm really excited to read it. The cover is gorgeous, and I've seen it for I think a year or two, like going around. When was it released? Yeah, it was released last year, and I almost got it at one point last year, but I didn't. So I'm really excited. And Ali Hazelwood has a little blurb on it. It says, fresh, witty, and utterly romantic. But yeah, I'm really excited to read it, and I'm obsessed with the fact that there's also leaves like on the little side here. Like, it's so gorgeous, and I'm probably gonna read it in October or November. And I almost bought another book, the Pumpkin Spice and something like that book. But then I realized that a book that I read last year or the year before that I really didn't like was by that author. And I know people have said some good things about that book, but I couldn't take the risk of buying a book that I'm really not gonna like. So now on to the next bookstore. Alright, so as you can see, the next bookstore that I went to was McNally Jackson. Now this is the store that they have. I went to the store that they have in Brooklyn, in the mall right next to like the Primark and the Target. So, because basically I wasn't planning on going to that one, but then as at one point I go like to the Target upstairs and I see that they have that bookstore downstairs. I was like, oh my god, wait, didn't Sarah and Destiny go to that bookstore in their video? And I realized, yes, they probably didn't go to that one specifically, but I saw it and I was like, I'm literally filming a video where I'm going book shopping in New York, so I have to go book shopping in New York. So that book that I bought there is Make a Scene by Mimi Grace. This book I'm really excited to go to read. This book is a fake relationship with like a baker, I think, and I've been wanting to read a baking, like I've been obsessed with baking romances in general, like whenever one of the main characters is a baker. And I love fake dating. It's one of my favorite tropes ever in books. So I had to get it. And when I also saw that like Sarah had bought that one on her trip to New York, I was like, okay, if she bought it, then I might as well buy it. And it's a self-published book, and I think the author might be from New York itself. I don't know, actually. It doesn't say, but the cover is gorgeous. I'm obsessed with it, and I was like, it's too pretty to pass up. I couldn't not pick it up and buy it. Like, honestly, as soon as I saw it, I bought it. It was the only book of that series, though, that they had in the store, which I was really sad because the second one is like a fall vibes, but I'll just have to read it somewhere. I'll find it at one point, one day, as one does. But yeah, this book is so cute, and it's really short. It's like 200 pages. So I feel like this is going to be a nice, really quick read, and like, yeah, as I said 100 times, but just because I have to show it to you guys, the cover is the most gorgeous thing ever. Like, I feel like if you're the type of person who judges book by their covers, which I do all the time, and I'm not ashamed to say it, this book is going to be perfect for you. I say as I haven't even read it and I don't even know my opinions yet. But on to the last bookstore now. This next bookstore is one that I was the most excited about going to New York, so yeah. Okay, so now on to the last books of the book haul. Now you might have noticed, you might be, Alexa, you already bought 4 books. You said in the start of the video that you were only gonna buy 4 books. Why did you go to another bookstore? Number one, The Ripped Bodice is one that I've been wanting to go to for years. I remember when Destiny went to the one in LA, I think a couple of years ago in her vlog, and I saw it and I was like, that's where I want to go. I need to go there now. So when I found out that I was going to New York, I was immediately adding that to the list of places I needed to go to. It's in Brooklyn and it's in the cutest area. I'm obsessed with it. And I'm obsessed with the store. It has so much good things, and it was so hard to not buy 50 books, but I did buy 3. So the first one is Say You Swear by Megan Brandy. Now this one you already know about if you watched my September TBR. When I saw it in the bookstore, I couldn't pass on it. I had to get it. I wanted to support this author. No. I was like, might as well support like a local bookstore by buying a book in it. She says after buying 2 other books in that bookstore. This one is a football college romance, and I heard that it's gonna break my heart, so I'm really excited about it. And I've heard so many people like rave about this book, and I'm so excited. And she wrote The Boys of Brashaw High, whatever. But yeah, I'm really excited to read that one, and it has a sequel coming sometime this year, I think. So I had to read it, get it. Then the next book is a book that I saw in Target earlier during the trip, and when I saw it in Target, I was like, I read the back and I was like, oh my god, this book sounds so good and the cover is gorgeous. That was literally like an hour before going to that bookstore. And then I saw it in that bookstore and I was like, I have to. Now this is a fantasy, but it's a romantasy. So yeah, I know that like the only place where I bought fantasy books was in the romance only bookstore, but it's a romantasy, so it counts. So that book is Filthy Rich Fae. Now, if you don't know already, I've been in my fantasy era recently, so I felt like this book was perfect. So the little like 1-sentence blurb made me obsessed with it. You made a bargain, your soul for his, and now you are mine. So it's kind of like, it's a fantasy with, I think there's vampires as well in this. Like it's a fantasy kind of paranormal romance, and I've seen so many people rave about it on the internet, so I had to get it. It's by Geneva Lee, and it says New York Times and internationally best-selling author. I know there's already like 5 books out already in the series, so I had to get it. And then it also has a little blurb from Rachel Van Dyken that I haven't read her books yet, but I've only heard great things from her books. And it says, addictive and impossible to put down, my favorite book of the decade. So when someone calls this book the favorite book of the decade, I have to pick it up. Also, I'm obsessed with like the gold foiling, and then the the sprayed edges. Guys, this is my first book that I have ever with sprayed edges, and I'm obsessed. That was the first thing that caught my eye. And like, even the one in Target had the sprayed edges. So I had to get it, and it's like 300 and something pages. The font is big, so everything just had me obsessed with this book. And now for the last book of the book haul, we have a big boy, and it is When the Moon Hatched by Sarah A. Parker. This is a romance with like dragons and everything, and I've seen people say that if you like books with dragons, you're really gonna love this one. And I loved Fourth Wing and Throne of Glass, so I had to pick this one up. Now this one is like 700 pages, I think. The little blurb says, the best-selling sensation of When the Moon Hatched is a fast-paced fantasy romance featuring an immersive, vibrant world with mysterious creatures, a unique magic system, and a love that blazes through the ages. I'm really excited. And it has a blurb by Raven Kennedy, who wrote the Guild series, which I'm currently obsessed with, and it says, an absolutely stunning fantasy world. So coming from her, I had to pick it up, and I'm just so excited for this book, like to read it. Hopefully I'll read it this fall, but I also have so many other books. I really want to read it sometimes this year, but like, oh my god, and by the way, look at the art in this book. There's chapter art, there's a map, then there's a glossary with everything explained of the world, and then like there's a little glossary for the characters, and then there's a pronunciation guide. So I was obsessed with it as soon as I saw it. I was obsessed with the covers, and I think there's a second one coming out in this series very soon. So yeah, those were the books that I bought. Alright guys, sorry I'm back. I went to eat lunch, and then I thought I would finish this video off by saying I'm so happy with all the books that I bought. I'm really excited to read every single one of them, or reread in the case of The Deal by Elle Kennedy. I do have to figure out where I'm going to put these books for now, because that's a lot of books on my shelves. I really loved book shopping in New York. It was really fun. And as mentioned in the start, you know, I was like, oh, I don't want to buy more than 34 books. I ended up buying 7. At the budget at the start, I was like, oh, max $125. $177. But yeah, I went over budget, but it's fine. I was shopping in New York. I was like, when is the next time that I'm going to be shopping in New York? Hopefully soon, because I miss it and I want to go back. But yeah, those were all the books that I bought. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want more book shopping videos, let me know. I can't make more until December though, because the bank account has been hurt in the past 2 months and I need to save up. But December, like when there's a whole like Boxing Day sales and stuff like that, that's when I'll probably buy more books. So yeah, definitely let me know if you want me to make one then, like next time I'm book shopping, and I will. If you have any other types of videos you want to see, or that you want to see again in the future, then let me know in the comments. If you aren't already, please subscribe if you want to see more of my content. I also have a TikTok, Instagram in my bio. I have Spotify and Pinterest as well. Description of this video. And I hope you guys have a wonderful day, evening, morning, whatever time it is for you guys. And I love you, and I'll see you later. Bye!